What do condoms, alternative contraceptives, STDs, unwanted pregnancies, and all of the above have to do with us? Well, we're going to talk about them on Red, White, and Brown with Live, Shreya, Mira, and Michael on Radio Zindagi 1550 AM. And no, we're not promoting sex shops. We are actually going to be reviewing Janhit's main Jaari, which follows the story of a condom sales executive, but she's a woman in a male dominated field. And how does that work out for her? Mira, let us know. How does that work out for her?
So her name is Manokamna Tripathi, and this is her story. She takes up a job of a condom sales executive because it pays her a lot of money, but also because it takes off the pressure of getting married. But she does eventually get married to a guy called Ranjan, who's actually really nice. He actually supports her career. But then she has to leave her job because her in-laws feel that it's such a tremendously embarrassing situation for them to have their daughter sell condoms. And then that entire process of her trying to convince her in-laws that selling condoms is a good thing and she should get back into doing it because she can save lives. So the story is about the narrative of selling condoms. If condoms are marketed as sex toys, as something to have sex with, then people feel uncomfortable. But what if they were marketed as things that can save lives, can prevent unwanted pregnancies, can actually save lives of millions of women around the world? Then would condoms still be seen as a social embarrassment? So the film actually raises all these questions as she goes around trying to promote usage of condoms for men. And basically, it takes for her, even in her personal life, a incident that happens, a personal loss she witnesses that actually could have been avoidable had a condom been used. And then she realizes that the importance of marketing and spreading awareness about a condom is actually much bigger than just promoting it by showing two people having sex on television. So what makes it taboo is actually the imagery of the condom, but the usage of the condom is never sold. So this movie actually is written and directed by Raj Chandlia, written by Raj Chandlia, but it's directed by Jai Basantu Singh. And this movie is written by the same guy who had earlier written Ayushmann Khurrana and Nushrratt Bharuccha's very funny movie called Dream Girl, where Ayushmann Khurrana had started working in a call center, and he decided to change his voice in a call center. It is, one of those, 1-800 call a girl call centers, where people call those numbers to speak to women. So what it turns out is he was a guy actually pretending to be a girl, and then a lot of men start calling that person because they like what he was talking about. And they don't know that he's really a man. So that movie was also written by the same guy. It was a really funny movie. It was a super hit. So the same guy writes here as well, this movie as well. And he carries the same humor. He carries the same small town representation, very appealing. The dialogue's extremely impactful. And it's designed for humor. But just like in Dream Girl, the problem really lies with how hurried some of the scenes are. For example, this consistent development for Nushrratt as a character, Nushrratt, who plays Mano, as a character throughout the movie, but her husband's character, who is a great supporter for her throughout the movie, there's nothing being done about his character. His character arc is extremely half-baked. And then, of course, this entire process of where the entire world is against her entire process of selling condoms, but the resolution of it is so quick that you're like, oh my God, just what happened? They fought, the entire movie was about her having a voice for people, for normalization of people using condoms. And then all of a sudden, it gets resolved in a jiffy, blink an eyelid, which kind of didn't seem very convincing. So apart from that, I think the movie was really well made. I actually enjoyed it in parts. It was really funny. The satire was really well done. It's small town India, very well depicted. And of course, it's a social message that needed to be told.
Absolutely beautiful, M. And although a short review, we're going to give you a song. What are we listening to?
I'm going to play Churalia, Sachit Tandon, Parampara Tandon. Here you go.
Hello, hello, hello. Those of you thought we were done. No, we are not. We're back to bring you more reviews with Red, White, and Brown by Live with Shreya, Mira, and Michael on Radio Zindagi 1550 AM. Mike, take it away.
Look, we've had a stellar lineup so far with the different films and series that we've been reviewing. I think Janhit and Jaari is definitely up there as one of the stellar pieces that we've been analyzing. You know, as I said earlier, what's great about all of these pieces is they're talking about these, you know, very important questions. And what they're doing is they're presenting, you know, the essential like counter story to like this kind of, you know, narrative that we're used to hearing. So, you know, in this example, you know, we're seeing, you know, that what they're telling is that like, you know, condoms themselves aren't necessarily the enabler, but they're actually this method in which you can prevent the loss of lives, that you can save lives. And that's not a narrative that's like really ever told. You know, when you think of condoms, you know, you think of sex, you think of, you know, all these taboo topics, and people are pretty quick to kind of just like, you know, hush that down. And, you know, in the back of your head too, you might be thinking about some of these taboos, but the way in which they're presenting this counter story is very effective to start thinking about, you know, condoms, sex, and, you know, kind of what comes from that in a different way, not necessarily in like a taboo sense, but in a way in which, you know, this is something that can be done responsibly, something that can save lives, and just, you know, ultimately to just switching the way in which we think about it. I really like pieces that do this kind of work, that really raise these questions, and do so in a way that can also be great as an audience member to watch. You know, this had a lot of like satire in it. There were a lot of different, you know, comedic moments as well, and we were also rooting for the main character the entire time. You know, she had a lot of people working against her, you know, as a woman in a male dominated market. So I really enjoyed it. Think you should watch it.